Freedom from attachment. Early one morning, many years ago, when I was still running in the mornings, 5-7 miles a day, I wanted to maintain my commitment to an exercise regimen. So I became the lone character that morning in a canvas of gray fog. Everything I saw was rendered in this Monet-like soft stroke of the brush. The sky, the grass, the trees, even the fence posts along the road were obscured in a gray mist that morning. A gray mist as the day tried to break free from the dark hours. I heard my footsteps touch the gravel in a slow rhythm. With each inhale, I smelled the earth, wet and fragrant. My gaze traveled along the side of the road and lit upon a silvery purple vine that traveled along the fence, weaving in and out and up and down. Through the wire grid of the fence on my right, that dancing line became my running companion that day. When I felt like stopping, I resisted the urge because my friend, the vine, continued. So the memory of that purple vine flowing against a hazy background has surfaced numerous times, especially when I feel like I'm too overwhelmed to handle the challenges before me. And the scenario I just shared with you is all about experiencing life right in the present moment. On that morning many years ago, I left the house with a ton of concerns. And as I ran, I had nothing on my mind but noticing what was below me, in front of me, to the sides of me, and listening to my breath. I was not attached to thoughts about the future or pain from the past. What you think of a time such as one I just described, tell me, what do you vividly recall? I'm going to pause for a moment. Do you have a moment in your history, in your life, where you were fully present? In that moment, what do you recall? Was it the fragrance? Was it something visual? Was it simply the feel of the air? What do you recall with your senses? What stays with you? So this is good information as you recommit, or maybe commit for the first time, to letting go of thoughts that are not helpful to you as you try to maintain a sense of balance or hope in these unbalanced, hope-starved times. Imagery provides me with a sense of comfort and strength. Tell me now, I wonder, what is providing you with a sense of security, a feeling of hopefulness, a reason to keep going? What keeps you in the present moment? Maybe you're able to find resilience in music. Were you moved by Celine Dion and Bocelli's version of the prayer? I am every time I hear that. That moving song was composed by David Foster, Carol Sager, Tony Renis, and Alberta Testa. Most of the time, I'm perfectly fine, holding my feelings in like a secret note tucked inside a grammar school textbook. However, with the first few chords of that song, and the two sing in Italian and English, I become emotionally vulnerable. Sure, I can hold it together for a short period of time, but soon I'm transformed into a puddle of tears. Now, maybe you did hear some of the lyrics, kind of hard in this room to articulate sound. I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer. When we lose our way, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be safe. Theists And non-theists alike, meaning those who believe in God or the universe, can be moved by this peace, and those who don't. As we listen, we become free from succumbing to the litany of thoughts that set up house in our minds. And for a mere 5 minutes or so, we're not attached to our assumptions and projections about what will or won't happen, to our anger about what we're witnessing, to our sadness or frustration. This ability to disengage, to disassociate from distracting thoughts of doom is a skill. It's a muscle in the mind that needs to be flexed and exercised. In Buddhism, there's a concept that speaks to the idea of non-attachment. It involves understanding that when one is attached to one's thoughts, one creates one's own suffering. It's a roller coaster, up and down. I'm afraid, oh, I'm happy, I'm afraid, I'm happy, I'm afraid, I'm happy. And it's a roller coaster, not a merry-go-round, not something that allows you to observe what's happening so that you can find balance and make a difference. For many of us, the highs in life are great because the lows, they're great because we love the highs. However, the lows, causing strife, sorrow, and suffering, that's hard. So to find some kind of balance so that the lows aren't quite so devastating is helpful. Non-attachment doesn't mean you love less or you appreciate life less. It just means that you're able to find a healthy equilibrium. And the hope is that if we can find a way to access joy in the present moment, even as other emotions are present, this is a good thing. This is a way of finding balance. For example, during COVID, I don't know about you, but I had to relearn how to let go of thoughts of the future and to come back to the present moment. Because honestly, that's all we had, wasn't it? The present moment. We couldn't think about the future. If we did, it was fearful. We could long for the past, but that's a lot of sorrow there, the way it used to be. So if you're like me, that didn't come naturally to live in the present moment. And I'll bet to many of you here, that doesn't come naturally either. One cannot plan for the future or go back to the past. We simply existed in the present moment without any attachment to outcome other than to do our best at taking care of ourselves and others. That is, we had to focus on skills pertinent to basic survival. We had to come up with new ways of focusing on the present moment, which is why baking bread became so popular. Taking walks, or looking at ordinary objects and seeing them differently, that became a thing. So how do we get back to focusing on the present moment and to becoming unattached to spiraling thoughts? So maybe you will try this approach. The next time you see a used, tired-looking piece of furniture in a place outside of your home, such as if you see a coffee table, a plant stand, or an old chair, pause for that moment just to be curious. Ask yourself, did that past owner have cats that put all the scratches on the leg of that chair or table? Did the children run tiny cars over the arm of that rocking chair? Did the former owner slip a love letter in the bottom drawer, a love letter from a soldier in the bottom drawer of that bureau? Did someone's grandfather keep his shaving cream in that old medicine cabinet? This kind of deep observation on a daily basis forces the imagination to become engaged. It can also be time-consuming, so that's my first suggestion for training your brain to let go of attachment to fear, anger, and frustration is to slow down. Pause to notice your surroundings. Set the timer if you need to, and say for 5 minutes, all I'm going to do is look around. Be curious. And then when it goes off, you can go back to scrolling on social media and feeling your heartbeat go fast and getting upset and angry. So the ability to achieve freedom from attachment might involve locating or creating a sacred space. For the non-theists who might be uncomfortable with the word sacred, allow me to reframe it for you. Sure, one of the definitions of the word sacred can be associated with God. However, there are others, and this one is included: dedicated or devoted exclusively to a single use or purpose, or a place where meaning occurs. So I'm suggesting that you create a personal space that allows you to separate yourself from the daily grind. You might consider a corner of the living room, an area of the patio, or a place under a tree that you pass every day on your walk. Tell yourself that in this space, nothing but thoughts for the present moment will be allowed. Only this moment. Enter the space with a glass of water, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea if you like, and then breathe into that space. Close your eyes if you wish. Notice how you inhale and exhale. If your thoughts wander to fear and anger, notice those thoughts. You can notice them by saying, "Hey there, fear. I notice you're here. Hey, anger. I see you are present as well. Listen, you two. I understand that you both want my attention, but I'm not finished here. I'm going to stay in the present moment for this here 5, 10, 15 minutes. Now, for now, anger and fear. I'm not giving you any of my attention. Be firm with this intention. You might want to whisper it, however, in case your neighbor hears you talking aloud and there's nobody standing next to you. They might be thinking you're talking to invisible friends, which if you saw the video I just had, so what if you're talking to an invisible friend? Who cares what the neighbors think? Sacred space is meaningful only by the association we place in it. If it helps to bring you back to the present moment, put something in that sacred space that reminds you of joy. Place a flower, a shiny object, or an item from nature, a chime or a singing bowl. Anything that helps you focus on something other than your thoughts about fear and anger, or sadness, or doom. Consider what sense is most powerful to you. Is it that sense of smell? If it is, place a candle or a pleasing fragrance in that space. So I'm going to share a secret with you. During COVID, I slept with a lilac-scented bar of soap. It helped me to experience a sense of safety because I associate safety from childhood when I played near a lilac bush at my grandmother's house. It helped me when my thoughts were wild with fear for my health and that of others. It was overwhelming. You remember that. It helped me sleep. Now there'll be a rush when I go to Sprouts on lilac soap, I bet, right? But you get my drift here, right? What is it? What sense helps you? As an aside, this octagon space is considered a sacred space where meaning-making occurs, where our regard for the outside world is set aside for a mere hour. As in other places of worship, again, referencing the earliest origin of the word worship, which is to speak of that which has worth, we enter a confined space. We come through the lobby, which prepares us to let go, and then we come into this communal meeting space. Some architects have associated the lobby area of a cathedral, by the way, or a temple, as a birth canal, and the sanctuary as the womb, where we are fully safe. So this was not done by happenstance. The early architects knew what they were doing. So maybe you're wondering up to this point why one needs to step back from one's thoughts of the future or past to remain only in present moment. It is because when we embark on issues of social justice, and Linda stood here and told you all of the issues that we're working on, the ways we're trying to help our friends and neighbors, we need to find a sense of balance or we won't stay in this work. It is because we embark on issues of social justice, often out of empathy for those who are suffering, or we're angry at the actions that are taken that leads to more suffering for others. We are prompted to act as an ally. This is not a bad thing. And yet, we won't be able to stay in the fight for justice for the long haul if we are mired in emotions that usurp our personal energy. Last week, I spoke about chants and mantras from varied traditions. This week, I wanted to speak about freedom from attachment, which is often associated with Buddhist teachings, and that when one is attached to fear, concern, or to one's interest in controlling an outcome, so when we do these marches and we come back and we see the news and it didn't make a difference, our hearts go, let that go. We are doing this because it's the right thing to do. We can't be attached to the outcomes. We can have hopes. So by meditating, if you will, maybe you meditate, maybe you pray, maybe you sing, maybe you simply sit in silence. By pausing to notice personal thoughts of attachment, to practice a skill at living in the present moment, that can lessen suffering and locate joy in the here and now, even as one speaks, writes, and marches for justice. You can find a sense of balance. Because we are a tradition that embraces pluralism, I want to pause here to point out that Buddhists are not the only ones struggling to learn how to free themselves from attachments that causes suffering. We are a pluralist organization. We embrace pluralism. That's one of our values, meaning at any place, anyone here could be Christian, Jewish, atheist, agnostic, Buddhist. But we come together because we support this community and we value pluralism. Christians struggle too. Although there is a saying to let go and let God, it's really difficult to do. For example, perhaps one is struggling with an illness or a job loss. Both are stress-inducing for sure. While attachment to the worst-case scenario can prompt one to try to get a job or to go to a doctor to get better, there are other ways. While you're being prompted to act, there are other ways to be calmed, to find a center. And that could be prayer. Some may invoke the traditional King James version of the Lord's Prayer. When I left my Methodist Christian upbringing and the Lord's Prayer, in later adulthood, I came across a powerful theologian, a writer, Neil Douglas Clatts, and he wrote a version of the Lord's Prayer that might be closer to the original version, what might have been said by Jesus. So I'd like to share it with you, the rewritten version that focused on the Aramaic version of the prayer, because Douglas Clatts was frustrated with the Latin translation version of the Greek version, and he thought those two are totally misunderstood. They don't understand the Aramaic version. In all the religions of humankind, the sacred teachings have always been written down. That's true. In the language of the founder. In this case, Douglas Clatts surmised that Jesus did not speak Greek or Latin or King James English. He wrote, there's no question that Jesus and his followers spoke in Aramaic. So again, because we are a pluralist tradition, I appreciate the atheists among us who, while not wholly in agreement with the focus of the prayer, might still see the beauty in the words that I want to share with you this morning. I have asked Mark Brandt, thank you for being a volunteer at the last minute. Again, this is what I love about you all. You share the ministry with me. You share good work. So I've asked Mark, I want him to read one line of the traditional prayer, and then I want to read you what might have been the original words, which you might be surprised at what you hear.
This is not good typecasting. Our Father, which art in heaven.
O Earther, Father, Mother of the cosmos,
Hallowed be thy name.
focus your light within us. Make it useful.
Thy kingdom come.
Create your reign of unity now.
Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Your one desire then acts with ours, as in all light, so in all forms.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Grant what we need each day in bread and insight.
And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Don't let surface things delude us.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what holds us back. From you is born all ruling will, the power and the life to do, the song that beautifies all. From age to age it renews. Truly, power to these statements. May they be the ground from which all my actions grow. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. That was beautiful. Thank you. So again, my gratitude to the humanists, the atheists, the agnostics could appreciate this as well. We are pluralists. We support one another on a journey that's spiritual. And so all of these, from last week, the chants and mantras, to my focus today on freedom from attachment, I'm trying to provide tools that help you in your journey that is spiritual. Ram Dass said, whether this is the first day of the apocalypse or the first day of the golden age, the work remains the same: to love each other and to ease as much suffering as possible. Let go of the outcome. Do the work of justice because it is desperately needed right now. But most importantly, take care of yourself and your neighbor while you're at it. Blessed be, and amen.